I'm excited about the week. Big opportunity for our team. As we've talked about before, the opportunity to host a playoff game at US Bank is going to be huge for our organization. For this team particularly, we've talked a lot about having our fan base there this Sunday and providing a heck of an atmosphere for us like they've done all season long. So a lot will go into this week from a preparation standpoint, but we will try to maintain our process, which we've done throughout the year. Good to have a Sunday game at home, no travel. So looking forward to getting out on the practice field today.
As you get this team ready for Sunday, what can you draw from your experience with the Rams in terms of getting the team ready for a postseason game?
Yeah, I think I think it's important you talk about what the playoffs mean, what type of playoff football, what standard of playoff football wins in this league. But at the same time, I think it's really important we stay true to simple things like what we think it's going to take to win the game, how we're going to play against this opponent in all three phases. Haven't played them recently. It's a familiar opponent for us, so we can really dive in on the details of this team and try to best prepare our guys, but also understand that the urgency and understanding how much confidence we have in ourselves and what we've accomplished this year needs to go into our preparation and understand that too much is given, much is required from a standpoint of the opportunity we have in front of us this weekend.
What's it been like? What have the conversations been like between the players who have had playoff experience with the players who haven't had playoff experience?
I think we've got a good balance. Like I've relied on our leadership a lot. A lot of those guys, many of them with this team or with some other teams that they've been with. We've got some other coaches that can just explain and I think it's very important that they explain how important 1 week of preparation is, and do not worry about anything else beyond this Sunday at 3:30, and understand it's going to take everything we've got and make sure that it starts today. It's not something you build up to. We need that type of urgency from the moment these guys walk out on the practice field.
Kevin, is the plan still trying to get Garrett out there limited?
Yep, he'll practice today in a limited capacity, and then we'll just see, Chris, how he feels after. I know he's been feeling really good. It's been positive. Positive reports and kind of the mindset of trying to go this week. But as I've said with multiple other injuries this year, we won't put Garrett in a position unless we think he can succeed and be healthy doing so. So it'll be something we work through throughout the week.
Protecting Kirk is always a priority, but with some new pieces on the offensive line, how much of an additional priority is it Sunday, keeping Kirk clean, and what maybe do you do anything different with the new pieces?
It's always a priority, especially with how important he is and getting him in a rhythm and feeling like he can work in the pocket there. This is a team that provides some real challenges both on the edges, but both their interior starting D linemen are two of the premier guys at their positions in the league. So whoever's in there for us on the offensive line, whoever's in there, whether it's a tight end or a running back helping in protection, receivers detailing up and the rhythm and timing and how they need to show up, it all works right alongside with Kirk playing fast and free and being able to make great decisions like he has all year long. But collectively it's going to be, we'll give them a plan that we think gives us the best chance, and then as we progress and move through the different phases of the game, third down, red zone, 2 minute, all those things, we'll try to dial that in as much as we can.
Do you think the pressure situations your team has been through, do you think they translate to this kind of pressure, a one and done game?
I think so, just because once that ball gets kicked off, the feeling of being in the moment, in the game, not looking ahead beyond just the next snap, to be honest, is how our teams really approach the whole season. I don't think you have some of the wins we've had from a comeback standpoint or the fourth quarter find a way mentality through situational football without being able to bank some of those feelings and at least know we can rely on that experience. That doesn't necessarily mean that we'll have success in those moments, but I do know that I'm proud of the way those guys have handled a lot of those moments throughout the year. So if and when they do come up, like a lot of playoff games and end up being close, I know our guys will at least be confident in those situations to play fast and make the right play.
Kevin, how much do you personally enjoy the chess match of putting a game plan together for a week that matters as much as?
Yeah, especially versus a recent opponent, an opponent like this one. I said the last time we played these guys, not only their head coach and Dave's, but I think Wink is one of the better defensive coordinators in our league, has been for a while. Presents a ton of different challenges for you as an offense, and having just recently played them, that's where you're trying to work through things you can really hone in on versus what's the next step, what's the next phase of not only their plan but our plan, and how we can maybe do things better. There's always, I know sometimes we roll our eyes a little bit, but when I say there's always things I can do better, I really do mean it. So I'm trying to circle back and make sure I do my part to kind of set the tone for our whole team, not just our offense, and then rely on our staff and players to absorb it and give our team the best possible chance.
How much do you account for them trying to compensate for giving up 13 catches to TJ, 12 to Justin 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, I think, one of the reasons why I think we found, I think we're one of 9 teams in NFL history to have 4 guys with 60 catches is because the ball moves around. Kirk's done a great job finding the open man. A lot of our plays are really not designed for any one particular player, and if it doesn't go to that player, we just move on to the next play. It's not like that. It's meant to be a friendly system to not only the quarterback but those 5 eligibles coming to life and getting the ball in their hands and letting them do some things with it. And I think the game will kind of play out in a way where hopefully our plan, you'd love to say, hey, number one's open a lot, but against teams like this and this type of game with all kinds of the full season of inventory of tape, there's going to be some back and forth in this game. There always will be.
You designated Blake for return today.
Yep.
I mean, what are the chances you could have him against the Giants? Are you thinking along those lines, or do you have to see him, or what exactly?
Yeah, we definitely have to see him, but as far as I'm concerned, I'm looking at it like Blake is 100% ready to go. Now we just see how he responds to some real work. We're going to be full speed today and padded up tomorrow, so we'll get to see some real tangible evidence of what he can possibly do for us Sunday as well as some other guys.
Kevin, Danielle Hunter's really taken off in the second half of the season.
Yeah.
I guess what do you think has kind of allowed him to elevate himself back to kind of where he was before his injuries?
Well, I think it's important that we all remember, that he was coming off of an injury and one at which, really kind of limited, different phases of his offseason in some ways. He had a great training camp, and then as the season's kind of progressed, just he's a focal point of everybody we play. So both him and Z, dealing with the different ways that they're being chipped and blocked and all the different slides and things that they see from a protection standpoint, he's really honed in and showed up. A lot of plays recently where maybe it doesn't register always as a sack. He's definitely had those, but just affecting the quarterback, affecting the game on the edge. It's been really good to see. Glad you asked about it.
Sorry. After the Detroit game, I think you said you wanted to look at every aspect of the defense and see what there is to improve on. What's been your assessment of how things have gone since that point?
Yeah, I think first and foremost you have to look at personnel and how we're deploying personnel. Secondly, it's the scheme and subtle adjustments that you can make here and there based upon understanding what the inventories look like, what the full season has looked like, how certain teams with certain personnel have attacked you. And then just trying to, assist from my perspective of that chess match. And there's never going to be a complete overhaul, but I've been happy with some of the adjustments. And then I think we're projecting forward to, what we can continue to grow into and evolve into. So it's a daily thing. It's something that really in all 3 phases of our team, it's important, Kevin. But, hoping to see those guys play really their most complete game yet from a standpoint of defending the run and the pass. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.